All right, kids, it's time for the second in our series of collaboration videos. So what does it mean when I say we're doing a collaboration, Tony Town?
We're doing videos with other YouTube people.
Mm-hmm.
We've picked a subject.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how that subject pertains to us.
Yes, and that is because we are using the modern English pronunciation and definition of the term collaboration, which means what you just said.
Yes.
We're not using the old English pronunciation and definition of the word, which is collaboration, which means where your collar pointed up. Do you believe that?
No.
And you shouldn't, because I just made that shit up. Before we get started, I want to mention the other groups that we are doing this collaboration with, so that when you get done watching our video, you can go watch their video. And those groups are Camping with the Confers, Just Rambling Around, Live to Journey, Our Ventures, RV Wagon Tales, and this month, do you know what we have? We have a special guest collaborator, which is RV America, which is Danny and Lynn over there. So what is our topic this month, Tony Tao?
RV Essentials.
Nice. I see that you checked the notes. We have old brains. We need notes. So we are doing RV Essentials, and we have broken it up into three different categories. First, we're going to talk a little bit about hardware, the different pieces of kit, so to say, that you need to go RVing. We're also going to talk a little bit about some of the software that we use. And then if you hang around towards the end, we're going to talk about what we think is the most important aspect of all of this. And that is what you pack into your wetware before you jump into your RV and head off down the road. And if you hang around to the very, very, very end, you will find out the one thing, the one single thing that we think is the most important, most essential thing to have when you go RVing. All right, so let's start it off with the hardware portion of things. First off, you're going to need a sewer hose, because that is very important. Because you're going to need to dump your tanks. We have this cheapo one, and they work okay, but I would really suggest that if you're going to go out and buy one, get one of them that's collapsible, so you can kind of extend it or collapse it to the length that you need. Because we've had problems where, like, we're really close to the dump out, and then since mine doesn't collapse and expand, I have to string it in this weird snaking way to get it to reach the short distance to the dump out. What about water pressure, Tony Town?
What about it?
Well, it's right in the notes.
You're the outside guy.
Okay, I'll talk about the outside stuff. You can talk about the inside stuff.
Okay.
You are going to need a water pressure regulator, because water pressure all over this country is different at every single RV park. You want to make sure that your water pressure is stepped down to the pressure that your manufacturer recommends. That's usually going to be between 40 and 50 PSI. We have the ones that just spin on. They're very simple. There's no adjustment, no nothing. They just spin right on. There's also ones that you can adjust the pressure on. They're a little bit more expensive. Some people swear by those. We actually use two of them. I use one of them on the freshwater side. I also use one of them on the black tank flush. Get yourself a regulator so that you don't wind up blowing out any of the plumbing in your rig. Next thing up, surge protector. So you're going to want to have a surge protector, either a 30 amp or a 50 amp, depending on what type of rig you have and what the amperage that it will take. You definitely need a surge protector because it will protect the electrical components inside of your rig from any spike in power. Little story on this, when we were in Maine, and if you watch our video on Maine, which I will link up here, we got hit by a lightning storm and had a chunk of lightning hit really, really close to the trailer. Talking to the camp host the next day, he was telling me that one of the big expensive rigs up at the top of the campground had one of its circuit boards completely fried because he was not using a surge protector.
If you get the good ones, they're a little costly, but you could also reset them from your phone, which is nice in case you do kind of trip the breaker.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in the software part of it. But I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to recommend, we have been using the Hughes Power Watchdog. We've been using it for the whole time we've had our rig, which is over a year now, and we have never had any problems.
I like how the little dog glows in the dark.
Levelers, if you're pulling a travel trailer, even a fifth wheel, sometimes even on Class C's and Class A's, you'll want to level things out. What we use is the Anderson leveling blocks. You basically roll up onto them. The farther you roll, the more they'll lift that side of the camper. We love these things. It makes life so much more easier than using the old school Lego blocks or wood to drive up on. Highly recommend the Anderson
Can I say
levelers.
something about levelers?
Yes, go right ahead.
This is just I see all these people have like the electronic leveling systems and stuff like that. Honestly, in my mind, it's like you really don't need it because it takes 2 minutes to level your vehicle. And quite frankly, these Anderson ones are so easy, you might want them just as a backup because I see so many people having problems with their electrical levelers.
Yeah. What else do I have? Oh, a power drill. So we have stabilizers that have to go down after we're leveled. We went to Harbor Freight, got a $30 powered drill that's battery powered, rechargeable, and we use that to drop the stabilizers up and down. One note on this, get the drill. Don't get the impact drill because nobody wants to hear you with that impact drill at 5 o'clock in the morning raising your levelers with it. It's just so loud.
It's one of my favorite things to do, honestly.
Oh, putting the stabilizers up and down?
Putting the stabilizers down.
I mentioned the little Lego blocks before. These are those little yellow interlocking blocks. We do have a set of those. We use those to put them under the stabilizers so we don't have to extend the stabilizers all the way down. One of the keys on stabilizers is the less you extend them, the more stabilization they're going to give you. That's it. Let's talk about inside stuff. The first thing I have is a dehumidifier. This is all you, Tony Tao, and go.
Yeah, get a dehumidifier. Like when it rains or it really does actually help keep moisture out. Because the last thing you want is mold. I mean, your trailer is so small, you do not want mold building up in there and causing you to get sick or anything. It's just not good for you and it's not good for your trailer.
Next thing we have is, Gracie's nemesis, the evil vacuum.
I see a lot of women talk about having to sweep their trailers out all the time. Just get a good stick rechargeable vacuum, and I do use it all the time. You're out in nature, you're going to bring the nature into the trailer. So if you have a good one that works and has good suction, I use the Samsung one and it's great.
And then the one thing that we did not think was going to be that important, but we absolutely consider this an essential, and that is what?
Our ice maker. I would say I see lots of videos of people having ice makers. And I thought, what the heck? Just go buy a bag of ice, No. Having that ice maker has just been awesome. I got a little igloo off of Amazon. I use my points for my credit card that I pay for our campsites with, so I feel like I got it for free. And we just love it. It makes ice so quick, so fast. And what do we use ice for? I fill up big cups with ice and water so we can stay hydrated on the road. When we're here, drink lots of water. And when it's cold like that, it's great. And cocktails.
I was going to say, and cocktails. We use a lot of ice for cocktails too. Let's talk a little bit about the software side of things. And I will preface this by saying when it comes to RV software technology apps, I equally love and hate them because they always seem to fail at the worst possible time. But that out of the way, the software that we have listed that we use regularly, there's the Power Watchdog app that goes along with our Power Watchdog surge protector. You can use it to reset via Bluetooth the Power Watchdog. So if it trips off because you have an overamp, you can just basically sit inside of your camper and hit a button and it will reset it, close that circuit again, and put you back online. The other thing that it will do is it will keep track of your power usage. So for instance, if you're long-terming someplace and they're charging you monthly per kilowatt hour, you can utilize that app, just reset it every month. It will tell you how many kilowatts per hour or kilowatt hours you have used in the month. Harvest Host. We use Harvest Host all the time when we're doing move days, and it's going to be a couple-day move. If we can find a Harvest Host in between, love it. We've seen some amazing farms, amazing breweries, cool wineries. We have the RV Life Trip Wizard app. Thoughts?
I hate that thing.
Tony absolutely hates
I hate it.
the app. I have somewhat mixed feelings on it. I've used it for finding campsites. I think that's its best attribute because it has a very robust review engine in it. They do have GPS routing that will also take into consideration the height of your rig and give you a safe GPS route. I use it for that, but honestly, the GPS voice is just annoying.
Now turn right and then turn right.
And a lot of times the times on it aren't right. You know, it'll tell you it's going to take 6 hours when it's going to take 4.
And then it freezes. It's just glitchy.
Yeah, sometimes it freezes.
And I think GPS software these days have come far enough that get your RV Life, get your GPS software better.
All right, you brought up enough things that I hate it now too. Not really. I still like it. But it does have some issues. You had mentioned the KOA app.
I use the KOA app a lot. I like it because you can make your reservations, but you can also look back on past reservations. So it keeps track of all that. So you can remember where you were going and what you were doing. It keeps track of my points, you know, as a member you get points and stuff like that. And it's a good app. It gives you all the information that you need.
Since we have a dog, we use Ring and we use Waggle.
We have a small security camera inside the trailer, so when we do go out and the rare times that we do leave Gracie in the trailer by herself, we can keep an eye on her, even talk to her if we have to. It's not an expensive camera. It was like $50. But it works via Wi-Fi and it's great. It's just a great little way to check in on her to make sure that she's not having any issues. Most of the time when we're gone, she's sleeping and just reassures you that she's okay. And then the Waggle is, it watches and notifies you of the temperature in the trailer, just in case your power goes out. The last thing you want to do is roast your dog.
One note on Ring and Waggle. Our Ring connects via Wi-Fi. If we lose power, we'll lose the Wi-Fi. The Waggle connects through cellular network. So even if you lose power and lose your Wi-Fi in your trailer, it will still send you an alert if the temperature range gets too high. So the other app that we use all the time, because we travel with our dog Gracie, is Bring Fido. What's Bring Fido?
It's a software aggregate app that shows you all the dog-friendly restaurants, attractions, events, hotels, everything. And we use it constantly because we prefer to take Gracie with us wherever we go. And we've discovered some really interesting places that we would have never thought about, but it was on Bring Fido.
All right, so now I want to talk about the less tangible things. The stuff that you need to pack in your wetware when you go RVing. The first most important thing is to pack patience. Things are going to go sideways, things are going to go wrong. You know, you're going to get to a campsite and the site you thought you had is not the site you got. Things are going to change, so be patient. Agreed?
Yeah, just things are gonna go as you haven't expected them, so you just have to kind of take a deep breath and be patient.
You need to bring your sense of humor, because when those things go sideways and you're running out of patience, you just need to be able to laugh at it a little bit, so definitely bring a sense of humor. You also need to have, I call it, the acute ability to not hold a grudge. Because when you run out of patience because things are going sideways, and you've lost your sense of humor because more things have gone sideways, you're going to snap at each other. Am I wrong?
No.
There's been many times when we've just run out of everything and snapped at each other. So if you're the type of person that holds a grudge when somebody snaps at you, you're screwed in this lifestyle. You really are screwed. Just don't do it.
You know what? This advice works for everything. I mean, we live together, we work together, and now we RV together. You just, things do go wrong and you can get a little upset with each other, but don't hold a grudge. It's just consider the moment and move past it.
Yep. Be flexible. I think that kind of goes along with everything else that we've just said. Plans are going to fall through. The exit that you were supposed to get off on to get to your campground, I'll guarantee you at some point it's going to be closed and you're going to freak out.
The Harvest House claims to be large enough for your vehicle, but it's not.
Yeah, we've had that experience too. So just be flexible. And then the last thing that I have for wetware is just have a good, healthy sense of adventure. Go do things that you might not have done in the past. Be open to conversations with people that you run into at your campground, at a brewery or winery, at a harvest host. That's one of the beautiful things about this lifestyle, is that you get to meet so many different amazing people. So be open to those conversations. The most. Oh, you have one more? Okay, go ahead, because I'm gonna get us ready for the other one. So go.
Travel days. Take a snack bag. Take a snack bag.
Yes.
Our little snack bag has saved us more times than I can count. Say we get stuck in traffic and we have to be somewhere at a certain time. We don't have time to pull over. Pulling into convenience stores and fast food and restaurants by pulling a vehicle, it's not that easy. Somebody's not behaving like themselves because they're hungry. Take a snack bag.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is show up at a campground to go through the process of backing in, hooking up, and all of that when the two of you are hangry.
If you're hangry, man.
All right, so now the most essential thing for our travel, and should be for yours, get a Gracie. Just get yourself a Gracie. She is the most fun to travel with. So, agreed?
First of all, it's your dog and your companion. They give you unconditional love. But lots of people travel with their dogs. And it's a way to introduce yourself to each other. Usually the dogs meet first.
Don't show them your butt.
Yeah.
Turn around, don't show them your butt.
So many people have started with a conversation with, can I pet your dog? Traveling with our dog has just been awesome.
All right, so that's all we've got for this month's collaboration. Once again, just to reiterate, please go watch the other folks that are in the collaboration, which would be Camping with the Confers, Just Rambling Around, Live to Journey, Our Ventures, RV Wagon Tales, and our guest collaborator this month, which is RV America. All right, that wraps this one up. Come back this Sunday and check out whatever video, whatever shenanigans we put up. Say goodnight, Gracie.